1 year ago, this was supposed to be one of Enugu State's modern bus terminals. But just 1 year later, I came here expecting to see something better maintained than the Holy Ghost bus terminal. And honestly, I was wrong.
Nothing here. Urinating in this area is not allowed. Use the terminal toilet or you can 5,000 naira fine. But look at how here looks like. I don't fit clear this place, but I won't collect 5k fine.
What I found here at the Abakpa bus terminal actually left me asking a very uncomfortable question. Are we building infrastructure in Nigeria just forget about it after commissioning it? Because what you're about to see is not just about one bus terminal, it's about a much bigger problem we have in Nigeria, the problem of maintenance. If you are new here, my name is JD Vicky, and on this channel, I travel around Nigeria documenting the real places, infrastructure, and everyday realities that you may not always see online. So if that is something you are interested in, please subscribe to the channel right now. We are building a community of people who actually want to see Nigeria, not just from the internet, but for ourselves. And trust me, you are going to want to see what I discovered inside this terminal. So this is the Abakpa Central Bus Station in Enugu, and the very first thing I noticed when I arrived here was the space. Compared to the Holy Ghost terminal, this place immediately feels much more open. There is more breathing room, more space around the terminal, and at least from the outside, it initially gives you the impression that this could actually be a very functional transport hub. And that's exactly what I came here to find out. Is Abakpa better maintained than Holy Ghost? Because after visiting Holy Ghost Terminal 1 and 2 and seeing the condition of the surroundings, I genuinely hope this terminal would give me a different story. But it didn't take me long before I started noticing some familiar problems, and this is where my excitement started disappearing. You start seeing waste dumped around different parts of the terminal, bushes that clearly need attention, dirty areas, and generally, a lack of the kind of regular maintenance you would expect from an infrastructure that is only about a year old. Because when you look at the actual terminal building, you can still see that it is relatively new infrastructure. The problem is not necessarily that the entire facility is old. The problem is that the environment around it is already beginning to look neglected. But there's another side of this conversation that we also have to talk about: the public. Because government can build infrastructure, but citizens also have a responsibility to use and preserve it properly. I then decided to go inside the terminal building to see what was happening there. The building houses the ticketing area for travelers heading to places like Nsukka. But compared with what I expected, the place was surprisingly quiet. There was not as many travelers here as I expected to see. And that made me wonder whether most travelers are still choosing the Holy Ghost terminals instead. Because when you compare the two locations, Holy Ghost appears to have much more activity and traffic. On the other hand, felt considerably quieter during my visit. It certainly appeared to me that Holy Ghost was handling more activity during my visit.
I want to use the restroom. Good day. So let's check out the restroom. Seems like they are paying for this one as well. Anakugo. 100 naira. 100 naira. Mbeji m. Eche m na ụta dị n'ime mana m na-akwụ n'ụgwọ na. Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay. No wahala. No problem. So this is what the toilet looks like. This is what the toilet looks like.
One thing that particularly caught my attention was seeing drivers urinating around the terminal instead of using the toilet facilities provided. And this raises another question. Are the facilities actually accessible and functional enough for people to use them, or are people simply choosing not to? Because both sides of the problem matter. Government has a responsibility to maintain public infrastructure, but the people using that infrastructure also have a responsibility not to destroy them or use them anyhow. And this is why I say asking myself something. Why do we struggle so much with maintenance in Nigeria? We celebrate the commissioning, we celebrate the beautiful buildings, we take pictures, we cut the ribbons, we talk about the millions or billions invested, but what happens 6 months later? What happens 1 year later? Who is checking the drainage? Who is clearing the bushes? Who is ensuring the facilities are clean? Who is responsible for making sure the infrastructure continues looking like the infrastructure taxpayers paid for? And then, I noticed something else that makes Aba different. The terminal sits on a hill, and there's a staircase leading upward and down, which actually gives you a completely different perspective of the facility. So I decided to climb down to have a view of what the terminal looks like down there. And from this angle, you really begin to understand just how large this place actually is. You can see the layout of the terminal, you can see the surrounding environment, and honestly, this could be a very impressive transport facility if it was properly maintained.
You know, saying here, raising in this area is not allowed. Use the terminal toilet or you can 5,000 naira fine.
And this was probably the
But
part
look
that
at how
disappointed
here
me the
looks like.
most, because I'm not looking at the abandoned
I don't
facility.
fit clear
I'm
this
not looking
place,
at
but I
something that
won't
was
collect
built
5k
decades ago.
fine.
I'm looking at an infrastructure
Omo,
that was launched
see,
just a
you
year
should
ago,
better behave.
and
Oh.
already you are beginning to see the signs of neglect. This is exactly why maintenance needs to become part of the conversation when we talk about Nigeria development.
I think this is another side to the terminal. Oh, I foresee because I don't say they no go pay. See female and male toilets. Oh, this one I it's for like people that are not like buying tickets. I think this toilets. This is what it looks like from outside, and this is a very mighty hill. Like this thing there for up. Oh. These
Now, I don't want
shops
this video to come across as though
around the
everything about
terminal.
our terminal is bad. There are things here
Let's
that I
go
actually
up.
like. The space is
I
impressive.
think I'm
The
done
building
here. Let
itself
me
is
go back
modern.
up.
The
And
location has potential. And if managed though, This could serve thousands of people and become a very important transport hub for this part of Enugu. And this brings me back to the question I came here with. Is Abakpa better maintained than Holy Ghost? After seeing both terminals, I honestly don't think this is simply competition between which one is worst. They are both showing signs of the same bigger problem, maintenance. Holy Ghost has more activity and feels much more crowded. Abakpa has more space, but that space also exposes some of the maintenance problems around the facility. So instead of asking which terminal is better, maybe the bigger question should be, how do we make sure all these terminals are still functioning properly 5 or 10 years from now? Because building infrastructure is expensive, maintaining is also an investment, and if we don't maintain what we build, we are eventually going to spend even more money repairing or rebuilding the same things. I think Enugu deserves transport infrastructure that is not only impressive when it's newly commissioned, it should still be clean, functional, and probably managed well years later. So that's what I found at the Abakpa Enugu Central Bus Station after roughly 1 year. And now, I want to hear from you. Do you think this is mainly a government maintenance problem, a management problem, or a public attitude problem? Or do you think all three are responsible? Let me know in the comment section because I genuinely want to hear what you people think. And if you have not seen the video on the Holy Ghost bus terminal yet, check it out on my page because you need to see that one. I'm going to keep visiting these places and documenting their current state. This is JDViki TV, showing you the Nigeria you don't always see online. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.